Hello, everybody. This is David Tress for theloveofplay.com, and I am here doing the Love of Play's weekly roundup for the week of June 9th, 2014. This was a big week for us over here at the Love of Play because it was E3. And for those of you that don't know what E3 is, it's the Electronic Entertainment Expo. This was, I think, E3, the 20th E3. It's just where, companies show off their games that are coming out in the future. And we did a podcast about E3, and I also wrote something about E3, and that stuff will be out tomorrow. But for now, if you want something E3 related, I wrote a piece that is sort of about violence and representation. I think when you see so many games so quickly, you can sort of zoom the lens out a little bit and look at the industry as a whole and sort of where we're at, on a larger scale. And I, when I was, watching the show and just game after game, I couldn't help but notice that there were some issues with representation and violence. And of course, I, as anyone who is sort of aware of those issues, was, aware of it long before the show, but you always hope that at every whenever there's a new game announced, that people are going to be learning from the past mistakes of the industry. And it seemed like there were some games that maybe had, but the majority of them still seem to have some issues, especially with the representation. So I wrote about that, my thoughts about that, and it actually tied in really well because for the podcast, the guys had one of their friends, Hannah Gilham, I think I'm pronouncing that right, on to have a discussion about specifically or using the Santa Barbara shooting as a launch pad to talk about sort of media and accountability and trying to trace these issues back to what's going on culturally in our country right now, and how that is affecting people, and maybe it's I don't want to get into it here because that's a difficult conversation, but I think they handle it really well. I think it's great that they had a woman on the episode, so that it wasn't just three dudes pontificating, thinking about this, because especially that Santa Barbara shooting, it relates directly to sort of how our society views women. But anyway, it's hard to talk about without delving too deep into the issues. But I think that conversation was really great, and I think between that and then the piece that I was able to write this week, it sort of establishes the fact that the Love of Play, of course, we have like a comedy show that was the reason that we all worked together in the first place, and we do dumb things like we're talking about video games and movies and things that in a way are inconsequential, but there are some issues within those mediums that are definitely damaging to some extent in our society and in our culture, and we want to be able to look and talk about those aspects as well. We don't want to ignore that stuff. So yeah, and then so that's podcast episode 7. E3 podcast will be out tomorrow, and then for as far as video stuff, I did a couple episodes of a Hearthstone deck spotlight for the Demolisher Druid. Someone got on our comments, said that I wasn't playing so well, and he was right. And then I did 2 episodes, so things started to go a little better in the second one of those. And then I did a couple spotlights, one for Haunt the House Terror Town, which is a game where you're a cute little ghost and you run around and are trying to scare people. And then another spotlight for a game called Floating Point, which is a really cool, sort of relaxing game where you're a dot and you swing from platform to platform, and it's really great. It's free on Steam also, and a really simple game to play, so I would encourage anyone who's interested to try it out. Yeah, and then next week, so we have our E3 stuff coming out tomorrow, and then Derek has recorded some more of the Wolf Among Us. He's done episode 2 at this point, so those episodes will be coming out pretty regularly from here on out. And then I have a whole bunch of smaller indie games that I'm going to be spotlighting. I think I'm sort of going to be doing a little bit less of these series Let's Play videos and a little more spotlights, just because that's kind of what I'm more interested in, and it gives me a reason to sort of go and explore a wider variety of games and check out some smaller games that otherwise I may have just looked over in the past. Okay, but that does it for this week, and thanks for watching this video. I will see you all next week. Bye.